All right, boys, we are back with another video working on my clapped out S197 here. And in today's video, we're finishing putting my engine together. I'm putting the clutch and everything on right now. As soon as that is done, Sean's got a man bun on. Diabolical, sir. I taste that in my gut. Anyways, after everything's on, I've done lost track. I got headers to install. I got some Texas speed headers. First S197 I think I've seen on YouTube with Texas speeds. So we're slapping some Texas speeds on this bad boy, and then we're gonna try to get it dropped in, everything in. We're gonna get this thing cranked out and get it all together. And in the meantime, we're working on a slow broken 3-valve because that's what they do. But yeah, keep watching. Alrighty, so we got everything dialed in. I got the Texas Speed long tubes in. Honestly, they fit pretty all right. There's just some studs up here you got to look out for. Other than that, they're fine. They came with lots of things you need. They came with good exhaust manifold gaskets. They came with O2 extensions and everything like that. The only thing they didn't really come with was header hardware for me personally, and I already had some from the old turbos, but that's the only thing they were really missing. Other than that, they seem to be pretty solid, better than the BBKs I've installed, but we'll see once it gets in the car how well they fit up. Other than that, though, it's going to be a pain to get this thing in because I'm going to have to somehow navigate this around my T56 and line it up in there, which we might have to pull trans, it's looking like. So in the last clips you saw, we got the engine put in the S197, and that was a great weight off my shoulders. But now I've got to finish putting it all together. And so today I have very dilated eyes from an eye doctor's appointment, and I have the day off. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish knocking hopefully most of this out. I've got the tune through Lund for the setup and everything. We're gonna get it dialed in on 93 first, then switch to E85. And hopefully by the time this thing's done ripping, it's going to make some serious power for an NA Gen 1 Coyote setup. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put you all on time lapse. I got to get this thing way up in the air. I got a few bolts left to bolt on the bell housing, and then the engine mount bolts, and run a bunch of wiring, the alternator, accessory drive, all that stuff, etc. So let's get to the time lapse. So I got everything on the underside all bolted up and tightened up. I got the O2 sensors in, wiring harness ran, and everything on the bottom side pretty much there. Now I am starting on the top side, getting everything buttoned up. I did have it on a time lapse, but I somehow managed to screw that up. But we got the accessory drive mostly on. The only thing I have left to put on my end is the belt. But we got everything pretty much dialed up, so alternator in, pulleys in, everything like that. These valve covers are just mock-ups. I do have a set of GT500 aluminum ones coming in, so hopefully they'll be here today. If not, I have to go get new gaskets for these, and I'll just rock them for the time because I'm trying to start this bad boy up tonight. It's currently about 2 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have enough time to get it all put back together, everything bled, and ready to go for tonight, hopefully by 8 o'clock. So I had to run out for a quick second, pick up some spark plugs and a few other things. So I got a set of NGKs here, gap to what Lund Racing set at a 0.038 gap. Getting ready to go in this bad boy. So we're tuning this thing on E85. So I'm going with exact gap and everything that they said, exact plugs, all that stuff. So I got all those addressed, everything ready to go. Getting ready to put plugs in it, ran the wiring harness, got the intake manifold put on, and a few other little things. Just got the cooling system really to finish, a few other little things, but I had to run out for like a couple hours, and now it's already getting late. It's almost 5 o'clock right now. So I got everything installed as far as spark plugs go. Everything's in there. I am putting oil on the cams currently because I just genuinely believe this thing has been apart long enough that it needs some oil or some kind of lubrication on the cams for the first start, which I'm going to do a clear flood mode on. Now I am getting ready to install the new valve cover gaskets because I'm going to have to use the plastic ones. I have GT500 ones on the way. They just haven't got here yet. So for the time being, I'm running some Velcro gaskets I just had a cough of $120 for. crazy. And I have $330 ones on the way. But it's okay, because I just want to hear this thing run and rip on it. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I want to take it back home to the family for Thanksgiving, because I want to be that cool kid. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get all that stuff put on as far as the gaskets and the valve covers on. Get all this wiring all plugged up, coil packs, all that stuff. Well, boys, don't mind the shifter lockout for the T56. If you look here, we're loading in the new file for the car. I got the radiator system put on, everything like that. I got to fill it with coolant, got to fill it with oil, a few other little things, but she's about to be dialed in. We're getting ready, honestly, for the first start, which I am feeling very anxious about, but I'm getting very, very hyped right about now. And, of course, Brandon's pulling up in the service truck with a bunch of stuff on the back. That's great. Nice little neighborhood section here. We're about to go header dump, start up with a big old service truck in the way. All right, boys, it's moment of truth time. Brandon's here. He put my cold air on, so if anything happens there, that's his fault. I've got the tune loaded up. We got pretty much everything in. He even put coolant in it, and it instantly started leaking. So he's the reason my radiator hose is leaking. Definitely not factory Ford stuff. But we're going to send it to open H-pipe or open header right now. And let's hope for the best. I'm going to give the camera to somebody, and I'm going to get inside, clear flood it, and we're going to hit the key. Hopefully she starts. Boom! Ready?
Near.
Well, it started, it ran, and it poured oil. Because I'm an idiot, and I put a Gen 1 filter housing on this unspecified block. And now we have to swap that oil filter housing. Microfibre. So we are back. We are swapping out the old oil filter housing, which I have down there, for this Gen 2 one. Hopefully this is going to work. We will have put every single one, Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3, on this motor by the time this goes on. So hopefully this one will work. Well, boys, we got her together, got her out of the garage, and now I'm about to take a very sketchy test drive back to my work. So I got everything together on the car and drove it and everything like that, made it back to the shop perfectly. So I just got the coilovers dialed in, and I also did a few little things to just button everything up. I didn't really get that on footage, but got the car here, got it at my apartment complex, drove it last night, and as you can see, it is freaking freezing here in North Carolina. But I don't think I've ever really shown data logging and running tuning and stuff with Lund. So I'm going to do that right fast. We're going to go ahead and get the first data log. We're on a base tune right now just to drive the car. But we're going to go ahead and get a little Lund tune action going on here. And judging by this might be interesting. It is cold here in North Carolina, and shout out my apartment complex, because this hoe is still header dumped and probably about to piss a lot of people off. I was going to roll it downwards a little bit, but I cannot see anything. So, sorry, neighbors. It's dumped like right there underneath the car. It's very, very loud in here. But I'm going to go ahead and let this thing warm up a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and hit the road. I got to drive in to work a little bit and then hit Mexico to get the data log in. And yeah, I'm going to show you how I data log with Lund. And it's going to be good. Loki honestly forgot about this. I printed off a sticker at the place that I worked back when it was Twins. And for the oil type, I put Hellcat, because this thing used to be a kitty gapper, you know, back when it had 2 turbos. But I honestly think this NA setup is probably still faster than a stock Hellcat is. Now, right now, we're getting ready to tune on 93 because it is freezing out here in North Carolina right now. And honestly, I don't think there's really any good E stations near me. Plus, I need a base on 93 first. So probably in this video, we're just going to be on 93. You're going to see what it feels like tuned on 93. But in a future video, we're going to put this hoe on E85 and see what it does ripping on E85. I think it's going to be really, really good. Because I honestly have given it a few little hits, and it's pretty solid for being an NA setup right now. I think you're gonna get that on video in a few minutes once I get all like the bass running done. Lund did give me the okay to go ahead and send her on wide open throttle in second, so we're gonna send it about 7,500 in second gear and hope it hooks. It's currently 31 degrees outside and it snowed yesterday, so it's gonna be an interesting time. All right, so first step of doing the data logging is going to be doing an idle. I have to idle between 3 and 5 minutes, and to do a data log, it's pretty easy. Got the LRX here. I just essentially go to data log here and then just click start recording. So we are recording. It's currently 7:39. I think I'm gonna run till like 7:43-ish. That gives me about 4 minutes, kind of smack dab in the middle there. And I guess I'll come back and then show you what we do next. All right, so we have been idling here for a hot minute, probably a little bit closer to 5 minutes. But the next step, while still logging, is to rev the car and hold for 10 to 15 seconds. First step is 1,500, then 2,500, then 3,500. So let's get into it. Now we just got to take it out on the street, do a few slow climbs between 2,500 and 4,500 RPM in like second or third, just not wide open, just a few little slow climbs in RPM, and then we can go wide, and I am ready for that. One way to wake everybody up in the morning. K to 7K watt. Oh, buddy, we were skating. Oh, buddy, we were skating. Holy crap. I'm gonna try a third and hope for a little bit better result here. Cooking. Oh my, for third gear only, that rip was insane. Holy. I hope you get it on footage, because that first second gear hit, I was driving the absolute wheels off this car. It spun so badly. It's got 315s on the back. One of the biggest things before I data logged was setting the suspension and putting 315s on the back. And I guess in 33-degree weather, hooking is not an option. I mean, even that third gear hit, I had to like slightly pedal it. I hope it really doesn't mess up the log much, but I had to slightly pedal it because it wanted to spin at about 4,000 RPM in third gear after spinning in second, and it spun the whole way through second gear. That was rowdy. Rowdiest NA car I think I've felt so far. This makes me very excited. This isn't even E85 yet. Like, oh, dude, this thing rips. That third gear pull was so fast feeling for just like kind of into it, having a little throttle modulation. It's crazy. But now we got to let it sit for about 2 minutes, and that'll be all the data logging. I'll send it off to Lund and see what they have to say. Maybe they'll turn it up. Maybe it'll be good. Honestly, if that's good on 93, I'm fine with that. But it doesn't feel much slower than the twin kit. It's pretty impressive. Now, it absolutely doesn't help that it is currently like 30 degrees outside and it's first thing in the morning, but second gear, no traction available, none whatsoever. I rolled into it in the third gear clip and it did significantly better, but I still had to kind of modulate. I was probably 3/4 throttle. This thing on 315s in the back does not want to hook in cold weather. I think if I have to do more pulls, especially when I put it on E, might have to somehow figure out a way to either drop tire pressure or warm the tires up some, or maybe just wait until it's not freezing cold first thing in the morning. But honestly, I'm feeling like this is the little Gen 1 that could. I got some Gen 3 cars I want to run, maybe some Mark 5 Supras and stuff, and I want to see what this NA setup will go with before I put boost on that I got this weekend. So we'll see how she does.